There it is.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to tonight's special stream. As you can tell, things look a little bit different right now. It's not a full TOV session. Tonight's gonna be a little bit different. As you can see, I am joined by two individuals at the moment. We have Danny. Please introduce yourself, Danny.
Hi guys, I'm Danny. I go by Siege Danny B online, and I typically am here on Thursdays playing Viking. Look at him, the cow. That's me.
And we have Ian.
Hi.
Cool. Ian, who plays Marosha, the orc pirate.
Look at him, the cow.
The cow.
The cow.
The cow.
I want an NPC now, as Viking just becomes more like a tone with the group. It's just like the cow. Look,
Hey,
Mom,
the cow.
No, it's gotta be that song. It's gotta be that Spanish song about the cow.
Spanish.
No one.
I don't think so.
Where it's
Wait.
like La Vaca.
No, I thought it was the bitch. I'm a cow. Bitch, I'm a cow. I thought that's where we were going. Then we went to say, yeah, that's a good one.
You
Thank
guys
you.
talk. I'm gonna go on YouTube and see links.
As I have said since session 1, thank you, Kobold Press, for sponsoring this garbage, because it has enabled some hilarious and irreplaceable friendships. But tonight's session, given that availabilities and whatnot were not ideal for having another episode, I decided, why don't we do a little recap session, because we've been doing enough in this world and in this setting, and we're about to go into our third big chapter. Why not do a little recap session? Talk about the campaign from its very beginning points to its current story elements. So this will also be good for Danny, who has only recently just joined us in the last couple episodes, to kind of brush up on some of the lore stuff, and also maybe give some seasoned players reminders on how the setting works. Basically, Ian, brush the fuck up on your knowledge. So,
This is because I made choices that made the team mad.
I mean, yeah, we'll get
But it's
to that.
okay.
We'll get to that. It's fine. Listen, my favorite part about TTRPGs is character choices and working through fun conflicts at the table. It's so much fun. It's good shit.
I'm gonna kill him.
Okay. Well, spoiler, I guess. So, let's start with the map that the chat can see. For my players, BT dubs, I do have the D&D Beyond maps pulled up with the world map. If you want to have that up, it is entirely up to you. You do you. I'm not your mom. This game takes place in a new setting that has been in my brainchild. That's a weird sentence. Has been my brainchild for a couple of years now. It is the setting of Eloria. It is not Aoria, like it was originally titled, because that is too close to a critical role setting, and we're not doing that. So it's totally got an L, which makes it different. In this setting, obviously it's a high fantasy setting. There is a pantheon of divine beings. However, instead of giving them names, when it came time to come up with how they operated, I decided to take the name and their identity completely away from mortal knowledge, giving them phrases that they were known by. So the phrase, "She who conquers," is actually, that is what you would refer to as the divine of war and physical accomplishment and dexterity, like that sort of thing. The realm of Eloria, I almost just said it. Aoria. I almost just said it again. Eloria has many deities, but there are 4 divine beings that are the prime among them. She who conquers, they who guard the veil, she who binds the truth, and he who keeps the land. She who conquers is war. and personal achievement, that sort of thing. They who guard the veil, life and death. She who binds the truth, knowledge and magic. And he who keeps the land are nature and spirits. These 4 main deities are from where all these other divine beings sort of became offsprings or offshoots of. So at least in terms of creation myth, I started with that. Then it came time to actually sit and come up with the world, the lands that we were going to be adventuring with. The first one is going to be the Iadrathe sovereignty. This is going to be the militaristic nation which has now become to be known as the villainous nation of our campaign. This sovereignty is led by Queen Resley Iadrathe. And under the guise of
Resley?
Yeah, Resley. Why?
Resley?
Yeah.
Spell that.
Rezlie. Why?
Resley. Okay.
Yeah. What did you think I said?
No, I just didn't know
Oh, yeah.
their first name.
Yep.
How do you spell Iadrathe?
Iodrathei.
Okay.
I don't know who that's but I'm going to take that.
I love, by the way, when it came time, like, I need to think of a good name. My brain cooked that shit up, and I typed it out, and I was like, not a goddamn person is going to pronounce or spell this correctly, but I don't care. It is mine.
I think we do well.
You know, you're getting there. Well, I shouldn't say you're getting there. There was definitely a point where you guys, like, keyed in and like, okay, we figured it out. Done. But yeah, definitely towards the beginning, it was fun. It was a good time. The Iadrathe sovereignty. Did somebody just snap on something? What happened there?
That might have been my pen clicking.
I thought that was Ian biting into something.
What?
I don't know. You've got the thing.
I could take it out.
No, don't.
Live your best life.
Iadrathe has a dogmatic worship of their queen and has been in a war, a decades-long war with a nation to the east known as the Kingdom of Lothorn.
Fire Nation. Oh, okay.
Close. Not really. I'll just give it to you that it's close. It's not, though.
Yeah.
The Kingdom of Lothorn is said to be the oldest kingdom in this part of the world, having existed before the others have established their own independence, their own systems of government. Some pieces of this kingdom exhibit some strange arcane abnormalities, waterfalls running vertically, some strange oddities that you'd find sort of naturally appearing. There's rumor that there was a pyramid that was formed upside down naturally somewhere in the Shattered Ridge mountain range.
The walls ooze green slime.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's out there somewhere.
Yummy.
The natural and arcane energies that make up the land just seem to be a little extra active, extra crisp, and that lends itself to causing some strange occurrences. Then we moved northward to the Zosoran Majocracy. What was that?
I'm okay. Just
You're good.
be
You're good.
forewarned.
You're good.
Everyone in chat, I'm gonna full on be a class clown this entire.
I love this. This is the
fill
whole
in the
point.
void.
This is why we're here. We're going to hang out and gush about this game.
Did you say it like an apple?
Like an apple.
Okay.
Like an apple.
That's what I thought you said.
Up to the north. See, now this is great. Now I have to be
Is
like
the
be on my toes and wait for some fucking. It's great. So, up north. Hey, Kendo. we're chucking along here. Trucking? One of those.
It's fine.
Hi,
I'm down.
Kendo. How do you like your apples?
Crisp? Do you like them? Do you like them crisp, like the magics in the south of Iadrathe?
I like them like my horses hanging off trees.
Way to
Hanging
tie
off
it
trees.
right back in. Well done. Super proud of you. This recap session's going great. Up to the northeast, we have the Zasoran Magocracy, a somewhat reclusive society of mages who were more focused on advancing magical technology and their own research more so than politics, and getting involved with the war to the south. They have been known to be more of schemers. They sort of like I just finished saying, they don't directly involve themselves unless absolutely necessary, or unless there's some clear reward, arcane-wise, that they can earn from involving themselves in some way. Now, all three of these separate societies have their very big and annoying flaws that make living there quite a bit of a problem, and that's what brings us to the Survivors' Isles to the north of Iadrathe. This is a grouping of islands that has a mysterious fog that obscures any from being able to map out exactly where these islands are located. These islands don't belong to any central government, they belong to the people that inhabit them. It is just common knowledge that if you're a part of the society, you treat each other with respect, you support one another, as long as you don't cause trouble, everything's fine. That does also lend itself to maybe some pirating every so often, but the society has found a way to continue to live and grow and has managed to be self-sustaining in that archipelago. Now, we come to the first origin session, which I believe is going to be Sybil Kingsman, our resident mechanist and noble of the sovereignty, played by Noir, or the Noir Enigma. Noir is unfortunately dealing with some food poisoning, so we are hoping that they can recover well. Get some rest, Noir. We love you. We appreciate you. Now, Sybil's family is very, very close with the Queen and her navy. Jasper Kingsman being the commander of the Royal Navy. Sybil had, was it 4 brothers? Yes. 3 brothers? Okay.
Sybil was the 4th.
Sybil was the 4th. Thank you.
He was the Mark Wahlberg.
Thank you.
Listen, he missed a joke the first time. It had to land.
Yes. Sybil was the youngest of 4. And being a part of such a prestigious family, one would assume that Sybil had a reputation to protect. However, Sybil had a physical disability. Sybil was born with a limp, and therefore a lot of the physical activity Sybil could not partake in. So, unfortunately, the soldiering life did not seem to be in Sybil's future, but Sybil refused this predestination and continued to try to appease his father by choosing to use his intelligence over his strength. Unfortunately, his father made it quite clear that no matter how much he would try to move forward, he would never live up to that reputation. And after a tragic event, where not only did Sybil lose his brothers, but after he also lost his mother, Sybil became the last remaining son of Jasper Kingsman, and developed a suit of armor made from a suit that he developed for his brother. The suit that his brother wore when he was killed. And Sybil devoted himself to eventually proving that he could swear his oaths and fight for the Queen, fight alongside his father, and bring honor to his countrymen, and end the war with Lothorn. That brings us to our next origin story. Marosha Gant, our beloved orc pirate.
Aye, that's me. Aye, that's me.
I think Marosha spent a lot of their young development life was in the Survivor's Isles, right? That's where we started things out.
In this part of his story, so just a little, behind the curtain knowledge for those in the chat. So Marosha was a kid. Marosha is my very first D&D TTRPG character ever. I created Marosha over 2 years ago when I was invited to my first game, which was also a first stream game, right? And so when Kujo asked me to play, I was doing a lot of stuff at the time, and I was in Hero Forge, and I saw my first Hero Forge, which was Marosha, and I asked if I could reprise this character, which I've pulled Marosha in other games too, and he's always been a pirate. So I viewed every one shot or mini series that Marosha was in. That's just another story in his overarching story of his life of being a pirate. But the Valiant part of his life, this is the one. Like this is the story. After all of those other adventures and things have happened, this is where he's land to either continue or die. So like that's the view of it. So at this point, yes, it was mostly in the Survivor Isles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Marosha was raised, I believe, from a young age. It's been a little bit, so feel free to correct me at any point if I get any of these details wrong. Marosha was raised at a young age by a human sailor on a small island. I imagine not too far from like any like smaller town. Like it wasn't like a huge metropolis or anything like that, right?
I know. I like to think of it. It's like if anybody has seen the old Harryhausen Greek mythology movies, the claymation ones, like how Perseus just ended up on this remote island that also was kind of just around. It's something like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
A lot of fishing, a lot of farming, but it's very isolated. But if you needed something, it's just like, okay, we're gonna have to go into town. It's gonna take a half a day. Like,
it's a thing.
It's kind of like one of those. Yeah, it's one of those things.
And Marosha had a peaceful life up until his adoptive father, did eventually pass. Marosha then...
It didn't start that way.
Oh, no.
It didn't start that way. Marosha was adopted by his human father around the age of 7. Now, this is all from the story, again, from 2 years ago. At the age of 7, because Marosha ended up on his doorstep in the middle of this heavy thunderstorm being chased because he was an orc.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't relevant to this part of the life, but like, because the idea is like, oh, he was raised by a human sailor. Yeah. Okay. So was he born? Like, no, he was born in an orc tribe, but his entire orc tribe was hunted and killed, and he escaped that while being chased and ended up at this dude's home. And so this dude didn't see an orc; he saw a child.
Yeah.
And took him in. So,
if I may, I definitely imagine if there were like other kids chasing after him, I imagine he would have shouted like, "You're still punchable! Get the fuck away from him!" Like that.
As it got into a lot of fights, not because he was being a bully. It's PTSD.
Yeah.
Like the simple games of hide and go seek and tag and like, you run around and you tackle each other. It clicks something in his brain of like fight or flight. And he flew so much that fight just kicked in. And being an orc with all of these kids, like he broke some noses because he was fucking scared.
Yeah.
Like that's what it was. Yeah. Yeah, this is a sad story, y'all.
I
That's
know.
not
I know.
happy.
They had it coming.
I just want to hug him. But a little bit later, I imagine what, like 20s is when his father had passed, and that's when he kind of ventured out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Marosha eventually ventured out after his father's passing. Maybe, possibly, a little drunk every so often, until one fateful day when he pickpocketed one rather talented ship's captain named Rain.
Yep.
Now, Rain had eventually made their way back to said tavern to have a conversation after figuring out who had managed to pickpocket them. She, being a water genasi, after a surprisingly charming conversation, decided to offer Marosha a place on her ship, the Pirano. Marosha was welcomed after a bit of a strange night before, where I believe you were like up to here in the water looking at the ship or something like that. What was it?
It wasn't up to the nose, like it was up to the waist, which is why it was easy to spot him. Because even though it was in the middle of the night, it's a big ship, and this fucking orc is standing there, like, I mean, she's really pretty, but I don't know if
she's
I
like,
don't know if she'll like me.
she's like
Holding up the boombox.
she's like about to get in cozy clothes for the night, and she's like, the fuck is he doing out there?
Can fully see him. He cannot see her, and he's just standing there mumbling to himself. Like, it's just, I mean,
that was I God. That session was, I think, that was a good one.
It's one of my favorites. It's
Yeah.
one of my favorites. It's high up there.
Marosha, now having joined the crew of the Pirano, adventured with Rain for, I would say, a couple years. And slowly but surely, the kinship between Marosha and Rain began to grow until eventually a romance bloomed.
They were fucking.
Yeah, I know. Danny.
They
They
were
were lovers.
coitusing.
Coitusing with
Danny.
feelings.
With
They
feelings.
were banging hard.
Uh,
Emotionally.
I already wrote fucking in the notes. You're gonna have to do it.
That's fine. Well, that's acceptable.
Rain had gifted Marosha a set of gloves at one point because he had earned the title of the Fist for being the only one to stick his hands in a crate full of electric eels to fetch, what was it, like 3 or 4 platinum or gold out of the bottom? It was something like
4
that.
platinum.
4 platinum. And
4 platinum.
she had Zesoran Mage make a set of gauntlets or gloves that could channel this electric energy and unleash it. This is like a big magical item. But
Just a bug zapper for a knuckle. Just.
What are you doing?
But before they could sail off and have their happy ever after, there was one more job that Rain found, and it was from an acquaintance through the Zesoran Magocracy. There was apparently a temple, an underwater temple that had been discovered, which said to have held the secret, the last remaining piece to discover the secret of eternal life. The very thing that Rain herself had been searching for. Rain, Marosha, and the crew of the Pirano ventured into this underwater temple. And just as they began to investigate, something triggered. And what looked like a symbiote, like a venom symbiote, inky black, dark something took hold of Rain and would not let her go and started to reach for everybody else. The crew of the Pyrrhino managed to save Marosha, but Rain was left behind. Immediately after that, as Marosha was back on the Pyrrhino in the captain's quarters, the very same acquaintance that had offered the job... Oh, there was an important part of this that was missed. At one point, when Rain and Marosha had been adventuring, they came across an old chest. A very old, rotted chest that had a broken trident, snapped in two.
Yep.
They decided, why not fix it up? Marosha worked with somebody. They had a mage friend. They refashioned it, discovered that this was actually a pretty decent trident. Fast forward after Rain is taken, and this acquaintance that had offered the job presents themselves before Marosha and reveals that they are not who they said they were, and instead introduces themselves as He Who Lies. And says, this is what happens when you take my things. Thus began the He Who Lies saga. This is where we kind of go into our first big arc. Now, no, wait, there was one other prequel one-shot. This was when Gavel, Marosha, and Sybil had all first met. That was in Castibria. That's right.
Castibria.
So, Marosha, now having this divine attached to him as this divine of mischief, trickery, chaos, something, making his life hell, making it so at any point this divine is literally going to throw shit or make things worse. Marosha literally would have to cover up for it.
Throw shit.
Marosha and the Pyrrhino get word about a job. A nobleman's party happening in the town of Castibria. There, Gavel, having been on... No! Come back, map! Return to me! Come back.
The map has been removed. There is no more Earth.
No.
The story has concluded.
Why did it go away? There it goes. There. Hold on. I'm talking too much, clearly.
Hey chat, what's poppin'? Thank you guys for hanging out. This has been the story so far of Tales of the Valiant. So far, Marosha fucked a water lady and took a trident.
And Sybil's got daddy issues.
And Sybil's got daddy issues. And
why would you say it like that?
I wrote Queen Resley Audrathe, my bad bitch, with a heart next to it.
Oh, shit. So, there is a nobleman's party happening in the town of Castibria. Hi, Craig. Welcome.
Craig of the Creek. He's Craig.
It's Craig. There is a nobleman's party with a treasure that Marosha has been searching for, hidden within. They're planning a little bit of a heist, and Gavel, an adventurer that we haven't met at this point, is in the town as well as Sybil. So, Marosha meets Gavel, a monk who lives somewhere within the, I named it, the Alestino Spine, a monastery in that mountain range. And after a rather awkward meeting, because Gavel doesn't quite experience emotion like everybody else does, Gavel agrees to assist with the job. Welcome in, everybody. They decide to... Oh, God, how did that go? You guys, I know you guys had disguises, and you were going in as, like, members of the waitstaff?
Yeah.
Oh,
or no. Sybil was going in as a nobleman because he had an invite.
Yes.
And we were gonna go. Gavel and I were gonna go in as waitstaff.
Yes. This was Sybil's first introduction to the criminal element of the world, but decided to make some friends. And after a rather comedic heist with one of the... I still think this is one of the funniest bits of Marosha trying to explain that they are, in fact, trying to steal a thing.
That's lying! That was true. That was actual frustration for me. I was like, what? And that's how it came out.
I remember
best
we talked about that, and afterwards you were like, listen, that might have been a little bit of Marosha voice, but that was Ian. Ian came through.
Just the way that Noir and LB were just kind of like, just batting me around like two cats with a yarn ball. I'm just like, wait, that's a crime. But that's lying. But this isn't a crime.
Funny.
And then after me screaming, fucking Noir as Sybil going, shh, we're doing a crime. It's perfect.
So, I believe it was here that Marosha... Did you get your gloves here? Because you had your gloves when she gave them to you.
Uh-huh.
There was something...
No, I still had the gloves.
There was something you were
missing. Bracelets.
That's what it was. Yes.
Yeah. The bracelets between her and I.
Yes.
This is also where this is where Sybil got his dagger.
Yes. Sybil came away deciding to pocket an item that they had found. A dagger looking like it was perfectly preserved in a block of solid glass. Clearly something that was meant to not be touched by, skin, lest they be cursed by something. They had used their magic vision and had identified that there was something magical about this dagger beneath this glass. So they decided to take it so that they could research. After they had completed this heist, our heroes then kind of went their separate ways a little bit. Marosha went to go rejoin the Pirano to find that it had been taken.
Fuckers.
Rather, one of the crewmates decided, after thinking that they were being told by Marosha to set sail. So Marosha was left to wander for a little bit. I think that's where we come to episode 1. So, it's at this point we now come to the beginning of the actual campaign. This is where our adventure starts. For those who don't know, quick side note and a quick shout out to Kobold Press. This whole campaign started because of the Kobold Creates program, which, if you don't know, Kobold Press came over the program last year to support a content creator, whether it was with an actual play, with somebody doing an interview show, somebody doing music or art or anything, all so that we could hype Tales of the Valiant as a system. I proposed a long-form campaign just called The Tales of the Valiant. The story being, we have this world, we have these characters, and we have the mysterious Valiant, which have gone missing. They are our Vox Machina that have disappeared. They've long since been gone, and now everything's gone to hell. So that's one overarching theme throughout this whole thing to keep in mind. But we come to Holbeck. What?
Are we gonna go missing?
Are we going to missing?
Gonna go missing?
So, we come to the town of Holbeck. Our heroes, Marosha, Sybil, and Gavel, who have already met previously, and Maris Havenhand, played by Erin My Laundry, who might be joining us at some point tonight, possibly. Depends on life. All the love to
Whoop.
Erin. All reconvene in the town of Holbeck, having not seen each other for some time. It is understood that Maris has met or adventured with one or some of them at some point. We haven't explored Maris's origin yet. Neither have we explored Gavel's origin yet. So be on the lookout for those episodes. But Maris Havenhand is a gnome who has experienced a lot of loss in her life. She is the only surviving member of her family, as sickness, war, and death have claimed her children, as well as her husband, Valder. She is a cleric of They Who Guard the Veil. Excuse me, They Who Keep the Veil. No, They Who Guard the Veil. That's it. Jesus. All this in here. But there is this uneasy connection to this divine, given all of this loss that Maris has dealt with. But despite all of this loss, Maris is one of the warmest and most motherly individuals of this group, and treats everybody as though they are her child, and very much cares for everybody and wants to make sure everybody is taken care of. It is in this town that they hear of something going on in the Adalshire Wood. Some hunters, while searching for supplies, have come away claiming that something in the forest has been trying to attack them. There's some monster therein. They need somebody to go and investigate. Now, I should also mention that Gavel, the monk that I had mentioned previously, had been essentially sent from their monastery to go and explore. They're given free rein to go out into the world and explore as much as they wish. They have been in the monastery for too long. It is time for them to go out and see what the world has to offer, just remembering their teachings to not kill. Use their abilities only for defense. Do not pick fights. Only react defensively, but win the fight when it comes time. So, our heroes decide that they're going to go and take a look at the Adalshire Wood to figure out what's going on. They find inside a spirit has seemingly been corrupted. Spirits in this world exist just as much as they do in media like The Legend of Korra. They're around. They're not, fabled, strange, ghostly beings. They're around. They appear typically in natural environments, less so in urban or more popular environments. And they can be spirits of anything, spirits of the trees, of the sky, of the wind, of the sea. They can also have concepts. They can also be as large as the spirit of an entire continent or nation. But the spirit of this forest seemingly is corrupted by something. Something is wrong. And our heroes venture in to calm this spirit. It's in this interaction that they learn that something is throwing off the balance. And in this way, they figure out that they have to venture forth to figure out what is upsetting the world. Something must be going on. Something's going wrong. Enough that spirits are starting to go a little haywire. Maybe we should kind of keep an eye out. In this interaction, two things happen. One, that's what it was. Shit. One of the hunters that had been attacked before leaving the Adalshire Wood had come away with a beautiful golden egg. This beautiful golden egg that was said to bring massive amounts of luck to anybody that was to hold it. This egg held an unborn spirit. And if it was not born in the correct environment, it would absorb whatever environment it was around, meaning it would become a spirit of greed, of anger, of what have you. It would become corrupted by civilization as opposed to being raised in a more healthy environment. They brought this egg back. That's what it was. They brought the egg back. See, this is the fun part about doing this, is catching myself on like these moments. They brought the egg back just as it hatched. And thus, a small itty-bitty baby spirit was born. And this spirit had the choice to remain with its kind in the Adalshire Wood or to join our group of heroes. This spirit decided to join with our heroes, bonding very closely with Maris Havenhand. And thus it was named Captain. The second thing that happened, as a gift, but also as a sort of charge, one of these individuals had to be gifted with the ability to see and communicate with spirits. Marosha had been gifted this ability. So Marosha now has the ability to see spirits and otherworldly beings. Now, you are muted. I can't hear
The
you.
most responsible person in the troop.
Totally. 100%.
Totally.
No issues.
100%.
with it.
True.
Now, because life and scheduling happened at this point, we had a session with just 2 party members, and then our 2 other party members eventually joined. So, after a little bit of time, the town of Holbeck looked to these heroes and went, okay, you guys actually solved this problem. The wood is actually safe to travel through again. Thank you. Their reputation started to improve a little bit. They had heard of trouble to the south as an individual presented themselves. Trist? An individual who didn't quite remember who they were, what their purpose was, what affiliations they had. Their memory seemingly was wiped, but they did remember one thing, and that was that there was something happening in the town of Sevadura to the south. Some of our number had made their way southward to go and investigate, where they came upon the town and saw that there were disappearances. Investigating further, there were some new clerics belonging to the temple of He Who Crafts, the divine of crafting, blacksmithing, that sort of thing. Danny, I can see your eyes. I see your eyes doing this. I love you so much, buddy.
Oh, that's just. I had tiny eyes. I'm here. I'm nodded.
I love you guys. This is a lot. There's a lot of shit that happened in this campaign.
I got the notes.
So, I know how this part ends, and so they
Is this the pit?
investigate, and they end up meeting a rune master by the name of Izzy, who immediately had a rivalry with Sybil because Sybil doesn't like magic. Izzy's all about magic. She's not the best at it, but she likes magic, blah, blah, blah. Izzy eventually gets kidnapped by some of these so-called clerics, who turns out are trying to summon something else into the world. She Who Hungers, an infernal entity that they are trying to bring into the material plane so that they can feed and give some sort of demonic power to. Now, Marosha and I believe... Was it Maris?
Maris.
Yes. Marosha and Maris missed out on the initial travel southward, so they had to travel via ship. And I believe Ian specifically said that Marosha was drinking Bool-Aid, which in this world is just fantasy Kool-Aid, because I made one joke about fantasy granola to Erin once, and then she said garnola, and then that spawned hundreds of jokes.
This is where it started.
Yep.
This is where it
all started.
You know what? That's world building, baby.
That's how it works.
That's a good merch. I know you have the Bool-Aid guy.
Yep.
But if you do like a grocery list where it's like a scratched up piece of paper that's just like Bool-Aid, granola. I know Erin has a list, but like some of them are crossed off. One that like
Scoodles,
yeah.
To Major Ritaville,
Yep.
fucking
just the grocery list.
Ingredient. It just says ingredients for Fannie Mae. It's just it's all of that.
That's that episode where we were developing that, we were talking about the Bool-Aid man. Instead of saying, "Oh yeah," it's "Oh yup."
Oh yup.
Nerdy, who I don't think D+ Ultra did happen at that point. He was watching and was saying he had never laughed as hard as he had when that episode happened. But yeah, that's where the Boule Man's origin came from. Anyway.
Love it. Oh, yep.
Marosha had been drinking Boule the entire trip to Sevadura. This is an important
I'm sorry.
point.
This is a self-serving moment. Let's not diminish this because the way this came up canonically was just fucking.
It was so good.
It was so good. Kujo, I got a question. Yeah. So we've been traveling for a while, right? Yeah. Have we seen any taverns? Have we made any stop? No, I wouldn't say that. Okay. So this entire time, Marosha has been drinking two 64-ounce Boulades. And he's got to pee. Before that, I asked, it wasn't even my initiative turn. I was like, hey, the runes, are they carved? Are they in chalk? And Kujo was like, they're written out in chalk. And I went, okay. I think that's when you learned. Like, he's making a face.
Vibe.
Oh, fuck.
Mm-hmm. I thought I was prepared. I thought I was prepared for shenanigans with this group, but oh boy, I was not.
Oh yeah.
Because I then had to think of rules on the fly for Marosha pissing past an arcane barrier around a summoning circle that was written in chalk. I had to come up with rules for how forceful his piss stream was to see if it could go past the magical energy.
For those who want to know, I had to make two checks. It was a strength check and then a dexterity check.
I don't know. I'm trying to picture what exactly
This
tells.
is what happened. Kujo said there's a runic circle summoning this energy to da 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 da. Gavel was doing their thing. I said, I have a question. Kujo said, yeah, what's your question? I said, hey, the runes, are they carved? Are they written in there with chalk or anything? And he went, they're written with chalk, like ash and chalk. And I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Maris did her thing, came to my turn. I said, Kujo, I have a question. And Kujo went, okay. And I said, we've been traveling, right? There's no tavern, nothing like that. Da, 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 da. He's like, no. How far away am I? He's like, you're about like 5-ish feet. And I went, okay. Marosha has been drinking Boulade this entire time. 2 64-ounce Boulades, and we haven't stopped. And he has to pee. I pee on the runes. And Kujo went, because I could see it. The initial thought was like, no, the fuck you don't. But then the second thought was, I just served this up to him. All those questions he just fucking asked me.
Yep.
Everything lines up.
Yep.
Give the opportunity. Did I say chalk? I meant they were carved in there with fucking.
That is.
Oh, the next runes that we ran into, I didn't have to ask. Kujo goes, these runes are carved deep into stone.
Weird how that works. No.
Maris takes the Garnola and just puts it into all the crevices and just sands it down.
Spackling it, just goes full HD TV on the runes.
Fucking Property Brothers.
Which is a Maris thing.
That is 100% a Maris thing.
100% Maris. 100% Maris.
So
okay, sorry.
No, you're good.
I think this was like the first.
That was the first
like
big combat. Yes. Yeah. It was the first big combat and also the first big shenanigans moment that I was like, oh, it's this group. It's that kind of group. Okay. All right, cool. I'm here for it. Let's do it. So, because Marosha's urine removed some of the runes, the ritual to bring She Who Hungers into the material plane was ruined, and the cost was those who had devoted themselves to this ritual. All their life forces were taken by her. They all immediately died. The portal was closed. That was it. But there was one important campaign-changing thing that happened that I wonder if we remember.
I sure do.
No. Gavel died at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Gavel went
Like full
down, full dead.
Yeah, like full dead.
And Maris made a deal with they who guard the veil and said, please, just give them back to me. And I asked one more favor, and it was like a natural 20. Like it was a huge roll. The ask was, bring them back, and the next time that any of them should die, take me instead. And the divine went, okay. You all are called for something much bigger than this anyway, so you know what? Okay. Gavel was brought back. Maris has not told anyone. So,
Question.
Answer.
Is this an overarching the Valiant? Was it these three or inclusive? I'm building a narrative in the turn that Viking does something dumb and
so
like
obviously don't metagame, but
absolutely not. Of course not.
When this deal was made, this was prior to them having met Averin. So
and King.
So this just applies to Gavel, Marosha, and Sybil. Those three.
Okay.
Well, so now I have a question, and
Sure.
you could tell me if you're going to get to this or not. But wouldn't it be with the meeting of King and what has happened to Maris after everything that's happened with King coming and going? Is that deal still valid? Because now Maris technically now is becoming an ethereal being themselves.
That is one question.
This I ask you, back
cannot
at 11.
answer.
You can't answer that. As in, you have an answer, it's just a spoiler. Heard.
Exciting.
Heard.
Can't say it. I wish I could.
I've been thinking, though. I've been thinking.
I've been thinking.
So, it's at this point our heroes remain in Sevadura. They have rescued Izzy. The town has treated them to fanfare. The next couple of days, they are met with free drinks. The town is known for its wine. They are known for some wonderful treatment. And then something...
Izzy's also Sybil's first love. We haven't resolved that shit.
Oh, right. I remember this.
Not at all. I think they're...
Yes,
like,
it is.
It was like
you mean
frenemies.
to tell me?
I was getting frenemies, and now I'm thinking they're just
It may have
enemies.
started as frenemies. They're in love. He is in love.
Compared to him and Averin?
Huh?
Compared to him and Averin?
Listen,
Maybe.
the road to love is paved by many milestones and stops and experiences. You always circle back round to that first. Whether you stay there is up to you.
That's fair.
I don't want to circle back.
That's also
I don't want to
fair.
go back there.
Whether you stay there is up to you.
I don't want to see them ever again. I don't like
Whether you stay there is up to you.
I'm not gonna stay. I just don't want to see him. I decided I don't want to circle back. I don't want to go back.
Kujo, please continue.
So, couple days of peace in Sevadura for our heroes. But then something really weird happens. The first thing that happens, somebody with a huge book appears randomly, tumbles ass over tea kettle in the street, right at the feet of, I believe it was Marosha and Mayris. And they introduce themselves as Averin, an apprentice. I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. Where the hell am I? Maybe 10 minutes later, coming from around the entire continent of Lothorn, a pulse, a shockwave of arcane energy that creates a literal tidal wave across the entire coastline. So everybody had to run for cover. This crazy pulse is felt by everyone, even those in the survivors' aisles. This wave crashes. People are trying to figure out what's going on. Averin is taking shelter with our heroes. I believe at that time it was just Mayris and Marosha who identify on that book. No, it was on their robes. On their robes was the royal seal of the Kingdom of Lothorn, identifying him as someone important to the Kingdom of Lothorn. Sybil, very much anti-Lothorn, very much I have to please my father and swear my oaths to the queen, goes, oh, I have to kill him. I must kill him. This starts one of my favorite arcs ever, and that is Sybil versus everyone. Multiple times.
This is where I left off.
Sybil, I want, like, over the course of these next several episodes, after every single one, I would be like, guys, is everybody okay? And you guys are like, this is fucking cool. Totally down. Let's keep it going. I'm like, okay, shit. So
was this the cannonball fight?
We're getting there.
Oh, we haven't gotten to the...
Oh, wait. Is this a cannonball fight?
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Maybe.
Where I was...
Went up. Yes. We're getting there.
Yeah. Oh,
we're getting there.
That was his favorite. Because everyone's faces when I was like, I'm going to do this. Everyone went...
Yup.
Yeah.
So, they all reconvene in Izzy's tower, and they get into a very heated argument as Averin is explaining that they are a mage of the Lothorn court. They were given this huge book by Magister Arhu, the royal mage, and told, guard this with your life.
Exactly.
Just like that. Don't keep that expression. Don't keep trying. Don't keep trying.
I don't want to go back.
My social anxiety is like, no, he said who? You have to say, no, it's his name, or who? You have to say it. And my logical brain's like, no, it's a trap. Anyway.
Sorry. I told you, class continuity.
I love it so much. As Averin is opening the book and starting to read, Sybil decides that they're going to go and talk to their dad who's in town and say, hey, there's a very important person of the court here right now. Come with me. Let's go find them and kill them. And Dad goes, no, you should do it yourself because I'm not doing your dirty work for you. You bring them to me and we'll go from there. That starts a fight between Sybil and Marosha. The first fight. The first PvP moment. Which I think that was the cannonball because you he suited up and you like rode onto him like Iron Man or something. What did you do?
Yeah, I successfully made a grappling check and Sybil couldn't get out of it. And then Noir with his evil ass fucking went, Marosha, I can still fly. And then suited up and went, and took off outside of the fucking tower. And then that's when I decided to let go and cannonball with my electric energy into the ground, Dragon Ball Z style.
Yeah.
and everyone's like, "What are you doing?" And I think like my follow up line to that was like, "Sybil, you forgot. I'm an idiot." It's just like,
So
it was like the intro to Power Rangers the movie when they jumped out the plane.
oh my god, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that. So in the middle of this conflict, mysteriously, everybody involved except for Izzy get yoinked from Izzy's tower magically. Everybody disappears from an urban location to the top of a mountain on the other side of the fucking Thessalon Ocean to the mountain range in Lothorn, where a fucking spirit of he who keeps the land presents themselves and says, "You guys need to get your shit together, because now it's official that you guys are the ones that are supposed to save the world. If you don't figure your shit out, this all dies. So you need to figure it out."
Who was saying this? This was to...
This was a spirit of he who keeps the land.
Okay. To the Valiant.
To the group. The Valiant before they were the Valiant.
Yeah, okay.
Now,
Who does what to the land?
he who keeps the land.
Keeps it. Okay.
Now these individuals have to find a means of coexisting with each other. They venture on a tense alliance through the Shattered Ridge, now in completely unfamiliar territory, towards the town of Kavamir, where they meet the Iadrothe army that is still stationed there, which immediately gives a red flag, because they know that Averin is some sort of VIP and this book means something, so they have to keep him safe. But Sybil is still convinced that he can still find a way to earn favor with his queen and with his father. So he's going to go talk to the general of the army, General Lucretius Cromwell, the devil of the battlefield, the one military general that nobody wants to be on the other side of, because this dude is a killing machine. He is vicious, he is awful. But Sybil hatches a scheme to entrap everybody, grab Averin, and keep everybody safe. This plan goes left, however, when the general says, "No, instead I'm just going to kill everybody inside. They're all traitors to the crown anyway." They all manage to use the book, and Averin finds a teleportation circle in one of the pages to teleport to some teleportation circle that the book has to be attached to, where they find a temple to she who binds the truth. Now, she is the divine of knowledge and magic. They end up speaking with her, and they find out a couple of things. First off, she doesn't deal in worship and ritual and offer me your gold and your silver. She deals in fact, and therefore doesn't understand motivation. She doesn't understand why people do things. So when the party asks for information, her currency is understanding why certain things are the way they are. So that's one thing to keep in mind about her. Super fun RP moments. It was great. But they find something out about Averin. Averin's not just a random mage in the court. Averin was the bastard son of the king, and therefore is the last descendant, and therefore the only heir to the Lothorn throne.
See, Danny, they was fucking.
If he dies...
That was fucking. That was fucking.
If he dies, a ritual that was centuries in the making completes, and a spirit that has been locked away, stuck with its anger and its rage and its hatred for anything non-spirit, gets released, and everything goes to shit. The lore that She Who Binds the Truth gives is that an ancient king of Lothorn tried to cement his rule and secure his immortality by entrapping the very spirit of Lothorn itself in a ritual and secure his rule, secure his line. The plot failed because he still ended up dying, but his family continued on, and his trade-off to the spirit was that should my family die, you can take over everything. Everything in this land will be yours. Go for it, to your heart's content. So the party's now armed with this knowledge that Averin is this heir apparent. They make their way out of this temple to the east, towards the port town of Aethos. And in that forest just outside of the mountain range, they meet someone. A strange individual. A creepy and somewhat terrifying hunter named King. King was played by Nerdy. And King
So well.
King
so
was
fucking
terrifying
good.
and so
good.
just horrifying in the coolest of ways. King was a warlock ranger build who was devoted to the divine of fear. But not in a, I'm your servant, I'm here to do your bidding. It was more in a, I recognize that I can do your job better than you can. So there's going to come a time when I'm going to be in your position. So King was terrifying. The party had an uneasy first impression with this individual, but eventually they kind of learned to travel with King. They came to Aethos and found that it was still under Eodrathé control. And just as it looked like combat was about to ensue... Or no, combat did ensue. Oh, that's right. Oh. They came to Aethos, and it's a port town. It's supposed to have ships coming and going. That's the main trade route. No ships were leaving. In fact, there was one particular ship that was in dock. The Pyrrhino. Marosha's ship.
Wow.
Marosha's ship that had mutinied and left Marosha high and dry. Marosha learned that it had been mutinied by Damien, an individual who was a mousy little shit. And Damien had been granted some abilities from one He Who Lies, specifically to cause more trouble for Marosha. After a difficult conversation that led to some shit talking, which then led to a combat, I believe
You beat his ass?
Damien was stomped rather quickly. I believe it was after that when Eodrathé soldiers came to investigate that Sybil had, I think, did like minor illusion or something to give the appearance of his father.
Yeah, of Jasper.
Yes.
Yeah.
And convinced the Eodrathé military to abandon the town of Aethos and sail northeast to a mysterious island, which up until the map doesn't reflect it, but this island was forever cloaked in this creepy fog that nobody could ever sail past or come back from. Basically saying, we are now giving you orders. This is Eodrathé land out there. Go. Set sail. This is ours now. We need somebody to go and investigate and bring back whatever you find. It was a natural 20 on that one. I vividly remember that. Because everybody packed up and went, okay! And they all went and all died.
Yeah. Like,
That's
immediately.
math
That was so
murder.
much fun.
Yeah.
Why you say it like that, Danny? Jeez.
That's just a lot of death. Could
Marosha.
at least 8 dudes.
Marosha.
At least 8 of them.
Oh, shit,
At least
well,
8.
At least.
At least 8 of them died.
Army of 8, dude.
Marosha was once again armed with the Pyrrhino. The town of Eophas was liberated. And for once, Iadrathe did not have a solid grip on this part of Lothorn. People could breathe a little bit easier. Maris had attained a new ability. She could scry. And after learning a little bit about Marosha's background, a little bit of what motivates and pushes them, mainly from the tense conversations with She Who Binds the Truth, she scryed on Rain, who appeared as a humanoid covered in that same inky, dark, shadowy something that was rocketing out of a mountain range, heading straight towards Eophas. And it seemed that she was heading straight for where the Pyrrhino was supposed to be. But they had set sail, and they did not see her approach, but she did watch from a distance. They decided...
Welcome to the world, pretty baby. Is it? Kind of how that felt. The right time to roll. We're back on my boat.
But our heroes are now aboard the Pyrrhino. They are now seabound. The world is open to them. And they decided they're going to go and investigate this island. Because there's a little bit, maybe there's something to be found there. Upon approaching...
Mass murdered people on this island.
Yeah,
on
I
a
know.
Different island. What do you guys?
Oh,
Viking would have shut that shit down.
Listen, I don't know if you heard or not, but over here on Thursday, we are prone to stupidity. So roll with it.
So I've heard.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
Lauren from Friday Nights just joined the chat. Yeah, Thursdays are a bit more of a harebrained campaign.
That's why I said it, because I saw Lauren.
Yep. Hello.
I just want
Thursdays, we say fuck it. We'll find out eventually.
I just want this the one who just discovered Crit for the first time to be like, let's check out these reels. And I'm like, the dark and sad moments of his put that horse on the motherfucking tree. It's like, I can't believe we're going through these things within Baldur's Gate. Oh my god, what a great time. Let's hug it out, everyone. Let's go to an island where we just mass murdered 8 people at least and go from there.
Intrigue, story, drama. Thursday, boulade and bitches.
That's another good shirt.
The marching finger guns. Oh my god.
Just put out a new Boulade line.
Oh god. Well, our heroes found their way onto this island and discovered that this fog... There you go. There you go. Courtney, clip it so we get that gif.
Yeah,
we haven't had one in a while. I think it's
true.
about time.
Oh wait, hold on, wait. I don't. Maybe I haven't seen
You
the
doing
new one.
timestamps?
Hold on. This might be an LB, and I think. Hold on.
Our heroes make their way to this island, and they discover that this fog, whatever it is, it's like a something chronomancy. There's something about it that freezes people in place.
The best kind of magic.
It's a kind of magic.
No, chronomancy is the best kind of magic, and I agree.
It's a kind of magic. I was doing Queen, but sure.
We know.
Okay, cool. Upon investigating this fog and this island, they find a castle. This castle must have belonged to the ancient family of Lothorn, the ancient royal family. And they discover that this was indeed their original home. And then, through some more investigating, they find a little journal. Rather, Sybil finds a little journal that details how an ancient king managed to trap a particular spirit and gain his divine abilities as it was described to him by an entity referring to itself as Caliban. Now, Sybil is reading this and realizing who this is written by, because there's two things that are happening at the same time. You've got the story of the ancient king of Lothorn, and at the same time, everybody at this point has had an interaction with the entity known as He Who Lies. And these stories seem to slowly start coming together when Sybil makes the connection and utters the name out loud, while Marosha is standing right there and says, "This journal belongs to King Aetherius Lothorn. And the thing about divine is that when you utter their true name in this world, that completely removes their divine power. All of their control over their divine subjects or whatever domain that they have is gone. And they are reduced to whatever mortal being that they once were."
Damn. Sounds like a fatal flaw.
Which then set Marosha off, because that was Marosha's one thing that they could do.
Whoa.
That was tied. It was a bargaining chip to find a way to free Rain. And Sybil used it right in front of him. No. That was a very tense moment there.
Oh no.
Was that the screaming match?
That was the screaming match, followed by one of Erin's top RP moments in this campaign.
Went full
Full disappointed.
Wild.
So
I have
good.
to find that one. That one sounds wild.
So, King this whole time is just watching, not really doing a whole lot. He's helping mainly because he knew that there was something about Avrin as communicated to him by the divine of fear that he needed to keep an eye on him, but not in a coddle sort of way.
Can we take a second to talk about Nerdy's performance? Is that okay?
Absolutely. Please. I need a break.
No, he's not here. We
Yeah.
can't.
So Nerdy's performance as King was menacing, it was scary, it was magnetic, it was wild. For the simple for its simplicity, right? Everyone in the campaign thus far has had these big, loud, crazy moments that are good, but the moments that made King what King was the simple things that Nerdy did. The humming of the Big Bad Wolf song, the helping but not helping, the always being in the background on their own kind of like story arc in the middle of the main story arc, and how it just tied in collectively, right? Like in our Stars and Wishes, I've said this to LB and how they play Gavel. Like Gavel is there even when they're not. Nerdy as King is the embodiment of that, right? It wasn't a lot of big, loud, sweeping movements or speeches or moments, but every time it was fucking huge in the simplest form. Like it was wild, like just on point. Nerdy was with portraying and creating King in this embodiment of fear, right? Because if you think about it, fear really isn't in your face. You know, you go to haunted houses, you ride roller coasters, you see the fear there, you're able to see it, to confront it, to deal with it, to do what you can. But if it's always ever looming, it's hard to put a pin on. You know it's there, you can feel it, and it hurts, but you can't like turn and look at it. That's how it felt with Nerdy the entire time he was there. It was like, It's warm in here. Are y'all warm? I'm warm. It was that the whole time, and we all loved it. It was so good.
So good.
Yeah.
So, the party rids the source of this fog. They reclaim the castle, and in doing so, lift this time freeze curse that has been laid on this castle and on this small island. And without missing a beat, those who had been frozen in time, all servants to the Lothorn royal family, all go, "Oh, good. King Erin, you've arrived. Good, we can all get to work." All immediately knowing what's going on, immediately what was happening, because they had been told this previously. This was foretold in some strange way. As a reward, our heroes had been awarded the title of Valiant. The Valiant being the guild that were supposed to be the heroes of all lands, the ones that anybody could turn to should things turn truly dire. They had done enough service to be awarded this honor, and Erin saw fit to award them this title. Some accepted it proudly. One did, I think. And then the others just went, "Okay, cool, it's a pin, great," and pocketed it. And that's how that went. Everybody got to relax a little bit at the castle. Everybody got to make it a home. Sybil got to have their workshop. Gavel got to have a harem. Marosha made the... See, now Kujo's scared to misterm it.
You can do it.
The bungalow?
Are you fucking serious? It's it's the Boulade Bodega.
Bodega. I was close. I was totally close.
You knew what it was. You just trying to get me.
But as everybody was resting, a couple things happened. King made some sort of a deal as they were dealing with whatever it was that was corrupting this castle with Erin, that he would leave Erin alone and stop puppy guarding him if he accepted a deal, a bargain. Only I know the details of what that bargain was. But Erin made it and shook his hand.
I mean, I think we've had enough time passed where you can like give a little bit of detail. You know what I'm saying?
It'll come up.
Come on. Yeah, like right now. Right now would be a nice time for.
I gotta have some secrets with this.
You have a lot of secrets.
I do. I have to.
Tell me.
I can't tell you you're a player now.
Chat.
Did you just copy and paste?
Bully Kujo into telling us a secret. Jeez. Chat. Get in the comments. Help. Help.
No, I didn't copy paste. That is knowledge I had in my head.
Well, shit.
It's not true.
King made one more bargain, and it was with Maris. King looked to Maris, knowing that King was about to achieve their ascension to their divinity, and they needed somebody on the material plane to continue doing their work. And they chose Maris. Maris accepted this deal from King. And thus, after a very disturbing ritual, Maris and her ties to they who guard the veil were strained, as they now accepted some new power from King. This power included, adorably, a little dog named Prince.
Little.
He's not little. He's kind of a terrifying dog who is a little bit smarter than the average dog. Yeah. But anyway.
Well,
not smarter than you. Not smarter than you.
Oh, shucks, man.
Yeah, specifically you, Danny.
Thanks. Bow wow, am I right, team?
Jesus. Wow, wow.
Bow wow, am I right?
Oh, this is taking a turn. It's taking a turn.
Bow wow, am I right, gang? You know what I mean?
Bark, backer, bark, says Clint. Yeah, that's right, backer.
Oh wait! Oh yes!
Bark,
it's
backer,
because of
bark.
the fucking you're getting to it. You're getting to it. But
Yeah.
this is gonna come back up.
Well, no, hit me. I'm curious.
We gotta hop, skip,
It's
and
when
jump,
we,
yeah.
when we did the dungeon crawl and you played the that
Luther?
scary mix between it and something else.
Oh, Luther?
But it was an anime.
Hello.
Yep.
Are you talking about me?
I didn't even notice.
Hello.
Luther
Why
was
don't you
fun.
say so?
Anyway, we'll get to Luther.
Luther seems fun.
So,
We should get him back.
Sybil still had this journal that belonged to the ancient king of Lothorn and wanted to figure out what it meant. What did it cost to become divine? Because they had at this point given up on trying to please their father. And they had fully recognized that what their queen and their country were doing was wrong. And they had committed themselves to taking arms against their country. What's the best way to do that? Becoming a divine, because they couldn't do it as they are now, as they said. So they kept reading this journal. How do they do it? This individual named Caliban is referenced. Well, who the fuck is Caliban? Sybil ends up having a conversation once again by summoning She Who Binds the Truth and says, hey, this name comes up in this journal. Who is this? And this is the one time the divine went, I can give you this information, but I promise you it will not end well. If you continue down this path, I don't need to know the facts of what's going to happen. I know what will, and it will only end in ruin. And Sybil went, I need to know. You have to tell me, please. She Who Binds the Truth detailed that far north in the mountains of the Zazoran Majocracy, they will find Caliban. So, the party had their heading. The Valiant, newly crowned, newly named, were going to start heading northward in the Pyrenees towards the Majocracy, our first venture to the Mage neighborhood, where they made landfall in Fisea. Fisea was some of their first exposure to the advanced technology. It's very steampunky, sort of astro-punky, obviously advanced technology, whatnot, where there was a very important hotel that they stayed at that I couldn't remember the name of, but there was one guy named Patrick who was the...
The Found Familiar.
The Found Familiar, thank you.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
We should go back.
Ian remembers that one
I'm not
well.
going to forget. Hard. Boom. Found Familiar. Yep.
They may have tormented a poor individual named Patrick.
He deserved it.
This is a stream I think I rated into. I remember Patrick. This was one of those like, hey guys, we're rating. Not sure what's happening. I'm not caught up. Yeah.
Yeah. Nah. Rah-rah. My map died again. Hold on.
Thanks,
Might be a
rah-rah.
different
No.
map.
No,
Welcome,
Patrick
rah-rah.
deserved it. Even more so now than back then.
True.
Yeah.
There. Come on.
Sorry, Patrick. Be
Map.
less of a little bitch, you know what I mean?
All right.
He is.
Sorry,
So-
Pat.
Our party arrives in Fisea, and they're exploring the town a little bit. This afforded them an opportunity. They don't have anything very urgently pressing. The king apparent, is safe on the island, guarded by that mysterious fog. They can actually relax. So what do? Wasting away again in Major
Go get food.
Reedaville.
Nah.
It's perfect.
They made a Margaritaville fantasy version in my setting named Major Reedaville.
We didn't just do that.
It's true.
Franchise.
There's Major Reedaville, Ruffalo Tiled Wings, Six Gals, Smoothie Prince, Over and Under.
And what are the other ones?
Futterburger is one of them.
Entrance and exit.
Entrance and exit. I thought that was over and under. Entrance and exit. Yeah. And then we just landed up at Majoritaville because it was happy hour. And at happy hour, you get the Majorita, which comes in a mage hat, which is really nice because it's like a double prize. You get a full drink. And then after you finish the drink, you can wear the cup like a hat. It's really nice. But then they had a bunch of other drinks that are named after fun things like Fairy Fire, that's like Fireball in some universe. It's just really nice. Oh, Dissonant Crispers. They have the Dissonant Crispers there, which is really good. Yeah. We went full in.
You guys went full on.
I have the menu.
Oh, that's right. Someone did make a full menu as a joke at some point.
Oh God, dude, I love this community.
LB made it. I think in the middle of the game. The Shocking Grasp 8-piece, the Family Featherfall, the True Strike, the 5-alarm nachos, the Burning Handheld, the Bloomin' Blade, the Dissonant Crispers. Guamakari. I can't find the pun in that one. The Gus Platter, Grease. Just Grease.
You guys, would you want that like menu like somewhere like maybe on the Pit Hit Chronicle site, on the Messy Critical site to see that
poster?
Yeah. Oh, a poster, a Majoritaville menu post.
The Majoritas,
a postcard from Majoritaville.
Mind Sliver, Acid Splash, Chill Touch, and then the Fireball, which was non-alcoholic.
Oh, that one was one. That was not. But yeah, it's really nice. You go to the happy hour, you get your Majorita, and you got no hat. That's where the dance came because we were at the table.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The GIF of Ian with the hat doing this. Yeah. That was from that episode.
That's a legit fucking.
Oh my God.
World building.
I love. It wasn't that episode, but it was when you guys were just naming them off, the Ruffalo tiled wings and all that. My favorite part of that was when I worked really hard on this big fantasy world, and it's great that you guys are making all these things, and Nerdy fucking died. He's like, Kujo worked so hard on this.
And Danny, send me that. I have an idea.
Yeah.
God.
Thank you, sir.
So, after allowing themselves a little bit of peace, Sybil was visited by the very entity that he was hoping to see, an individual named Caliban, presenting themselves as a human, wearing a black and gold suit vest with a red cravat tie, a white button-down shirt, long brown hair tied in the back with a red ribbon, and eyes that looked like burning embers with cracks in the skin, almost like porcelain. And they hand in their hand a book. That's right. I put the chronicler in this campaign. Basically saying, come find me. I'm more than willing to have a conversation. You intrigue me. Your story is quite interesting to me. Everybody began to venture northward. And that's when a piece of the puzzle clarified. As Sybil had been looking at this journal more and more and more, there was something about this spirit that had been trapped that caught Sybil's attention because it matched with something that had been shared from Marosha about Rain. And that is that the spirit, which was once beautiful and grand and large, became corrupted and dark and venom-like. And it was revealed through that conversation that Rain was corrupted not from some monster or what have you, but was being corrupted and held captive by the very spirit that he who lies, this ancient king of Lothorn, had locked away. Once again, bringing up all of this anger and all of this emotion, reigniting this fight once again between Sybil and Marosha. I legitimately think this was like round 4. Like, you guys had so many moments where you're butting heads hard, and you guys were in the middle of nowhere.
The first one was about him doing things for his dad. The second one was about him wanting to kill Averin. The third one was about him continuing to want to kill Averin, and that was tied into him releasing the name of He Who Lies, and then this was the fourth one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Damn.
So their travel northward through a frozen landscape was essentially halted as this all reached an explosion point, and our Valiant were approaching a point where even me as the DM went, I genuinely don't know how these characters are going to continue venturing together. I genuinely didn't know if Marosha and Sybil could continue adventuring together. So they were visited. They were visited by the Chronicler.
Jesus.
By Daddy Chronicler.
Chronicler.
It was your daddy Chronicler. He said all of my children need to stop.
Stop
Right,
fighting.
you
I'm
my
a chronicler.
series.
I will
Please
write
stop
your
fighting.
stories to stop fighting.
Cobalt West is gonna be really upset. Cobalt West is gonna be really angry. We're not gonna finish the series if you don't stop fighting all the time.
This is my book. This is my book. Stop.
I can't finish the Chronicle at this weight. Stop.
Oh, God.
The Chronicler is a serious person. Understanding of all of these worlds. Don't
That's the
fucking.
first
Whatever.
I've heard of him, so
So,
that's just fun.
the Chronicler basically pulled everybody aside and said, let's talk about the paths that you're on. Let's talk about what happens if you continue exactly on the path that you're going. If I did not walk up, this is where you would have ended up. And the next session is what would have happened 10 years from the current moment. And it's what would have happened if the world were about to end, because our heroes, all in one way or another, fell to their dark urges. Marosha became the pirate, cannibalistic monster of the sea. Maris became the lost mother, a terrifying haunt that would move from town to town, taking children from their beds. Gavel would perfect his technique to a point where literally nothing meant anything anymore, so whenever somebody would come up and challenge him, he would kill them but then have somebody bring them back. It's fine, they would come back to life, it wouldn't be a problem. Sybil would create the armor and achieve his divinity like he had so sought after, and become the nightmare that everybody feared. Iadrathe as a continent would be all but gone. Lothorn would be free, but they would live in fear and terror because they would have to obey and listen to any dictations from Sybil and his divinity. And it resulted in Sybil killing Averin, which therefore unleashed the spirit that had been lying dormant for so long. All of this was revealed to our heroes.
Damn.
And they all realized, to one extent or another, that something had to change. Sybil gave up the search for divinity. Maris discovered and soon understood that this deal that they made with King, this power that they had accepted, was in fact a curse. It pushed them further away from their family and from they who guard the veil. Gavel understood that they couldn't necessarily just sit in a mountain. Marosha, well, I'll let Marosha describe in his own time whether or not he wants to tackle that subject, but the path diverged. Our heroes eventually, armed with this information, decided we need to get back home. They returned, they made their way through Fisea, they didn't stay long. They went back to the castle and they recuperated. Sybil decided, instead of pursuing divinity, Sybil instead would pursue something else. Having grown fond of the connection with She Who Binds the Truth, Sybil instead decided to work on a set of armor that would assist She Who Binds the Truth. Turns out that the Zazoran Magocracy is quite irritating to She Who Binds the Truth in that they don't pray or offer worship for good fortune or anything. They are children asking their teacher for the answers to a test. They're constantly reaching out for some sort of knowledge on what project they're working on, what machination or invention that they just need to learn this one equation so that they can make something work. She gets tired. She tunes them out. She'd rather talk to somebody as an intellectual on their level. And so, Sybil decided to make a set of armor that would intercept some of those messages in hopes to ease some of her burden. It's got a little bit of glitches here and there, but it's working for the most part. It's at this point that they had to make a decision on what they were going to do next. Averin decided to call everybody into a meeting and explain that something's got to give here. We can't sit on this island for forever. I can't continue to sit alone here and expect my kingdom to just magically free itself. There are people out there I have to save. Now, this is where I get a little gray, because I believe he had asked everybody if they'd be willing to join the fight, and I don't think that everybody necessarily jumped at that right away. Is that correct? I'm more looking to Marosha.
That is correct.
Okay. How did you guys end up getting to Aephos then?
Begrudgingly. It was an almost kind of argument that Maris tampered down, saying we need to do something, and it was just more so of an angry snowmobile ride to Aephos.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Okay. And it was here in Aephos, having returned, that they made a connection with the former general of the Lothorn Navy and his right-hand lady named Mabel, who had described an issue that they were having. There were some supplies from the mines in the Shattered Ridge that had not made their way down, and they were worried that some of those miners had gone missing or worse. And they were hoping to enlist the help of the Valiant, since they had made such quick work of the Iadrathe military in the town, to perhaps go and investigate and see if they could bring back anybody who was still around. And there would be a handsome reward at the end of it.
Real drop of intensity, huh? Like, I think I just killed a whole fucking army. Could you get some boxes for us, though? That'd be kind of lit.
It was something to do.
Honestly, but
for sure.
that tracks with this crew.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
Yeah.
world domination, Major Readaville.
I forgot to go grocery shopping today.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fun.
Now, it was at this point that two new faces presented themselves. A large cow-like man named Viking and
Seriously?
and an, I believe she was elf. I think she was an elf. Yes, an elven
I thought she
bard
was a dwarf.
named Maggie.
Should be elf.
Danny, would you like to take it away at this point?
Oh yeah, I could do that. Yeah, I guess how much of the one episode of the 3-episode miniseries matters here? Not really any of it, I guess.
I'll say it, I can say this to kind of have something make sense of it. You and Maggie had met on an auspicious day as one of the princes of Iadrathe had been spotted and sought after on one of the Survivors' Isles.
Mm-hmm.
And just as you had managed to apprehend this VIP, knowing that of course there was going to be a bounty, there was a ship carrying a very deadly reputation with it that made landfall. And whenever that ship approaches any island, anybody with sound mind knows to stay inside and do not be on the roads.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Ian, what's the name of that ship? Not your ship, the other ship. The Scarlet.
Oh, it's the Scarlet Tide.
Got it.
Yeah.
I like the idea that perhaps Viking and Maggie went, oh, we gotta fucking go.
Yeah.
I think the way that I like to think of it is that some of the Scarlet Tide had apprehended the Prince of Iadrathe, and you guys went, cool, and then booked it the fuck out of there.
Books, yeah.
Yeah.
Bet, then yeah, I think at that point we would have seen this terrifying ship. At this point in time, Viking and Maggie were kind of, connected at the hip. They were there for one another, traveling together, both making each other feel seen in a world where they were both kind of lost in where they were going next. Found themselves at another tavern where Maggie was performing, everyone trying to buy her drinks. Viking just kind of playing bodyguard off to the side, like, make sure no one fucks around and has to find out. When we were approached by, it wasn't Mabel that came to us, it was the other dude.
It was the general, whose name escapes me. Which
yeah,
is,
it's similar in my notes.
That's gonna drive me nuts.
We'll call him Jeffrey. So Jeffrey rolls up and says, go back and watch the episode with Viking and Maggie. You'll find out who it was. I forget his name. Jeffrey rolls up and was all like, yeah, these guys haven't come back. You guys want to go instead? And they offered gold. Maggie was like, we should go. And Viking's like, all right, if you're saying go, we'll go. So we went exploring. We climbed some mountains and came across a bunch of bickering idiots. We said we could walk right past them and not worry about it. Just keep doing what we want to do. And then at some point, someone got heated because we just kind of schmoozed on past, and that turned into a, who's this big guy? Who's this big guy? Why is this big guy talking to this big guy? What's this big guy doing to the big guy? And Maggie had to play mediator for a while. We said, I guess we'll work together. And Viking said, I hate this. I don't want to.
Our Valiant had made contact with Viking and Maggie, two other adventurers who had accepted the same job, funnily enough. Viking being motivated not just from Maggie, but also a strange breeze that they would occasionally feel upon their cheek. But they would investigate the mine to find that some of its tunnels had been caved in. There was some evidence of monsters or some sort of infestation therein. They would venture inward and a couple of things happened. First with Sybil. Sybil encountered, for a moment, a statue that was presenting riddles. And as it had presented one of these riddles, Sybil was visited by a vision. Just a moment, they saw themselves wearing the armor in that horrific future that the chronicler had revealed to them. It appeared before them, almost standing, goading them, taunting. The adventurers continued forward through this dungeon, and eventually a second apparition appeared. This one appeared before Gavel. Again, that strange, otherworldly version. And then again, before Marosha. She who binds the truth eventually did apparate and explain that whatever is haunting this mine is not of this plane. And I don't mean of the material plane. This world is but one of many. And outside of this world is known as the Void. It's the space between other worlds. And she believes that the energy from the Void is infesting this mine. She actually cannot see the specifics of what is happening therein. The divine of knowledge and fact could not see what was happening because everything was wrong. It just wasn't computing. The party ventured further in and found one of Sybil's brothers, who looked dead, but was still up, walking, clearly corrupted by whatever it was that was making this mine its home. A combat ensued as Sybil's brother launched into combat, and a void giant had apparated as Sybil had used his invisivision to see this entity was lying invisible behind the combat. And you guys stomped the ever-loving shit out of this giant. I got, I think, a single turn, maybe two, and I was like, oh, you guys are not fucking kidding with this shit. You guys are really fucking intense. That was a kick-ass combat. That was really fucking
Give me
cool.
fiends, give me undead, I'll kill them all.
Yeah, it was good shit. But one other individual they had met while in this mine was a strange, mischievous creature. Sort of humanoid, presenting somewhat spider-like in that they had multiple limbs, a very expressive face, and an almost over-expressive body language, introducing themselves as Luther. A friend? Maybe an acquaintance. Connected to he who keeps the land. Meant to help. Or hurt. This individual named Luther made contact with our party and will be important to the rest of this campaign. I very much want to bring Luther back. I had a lot of fun with him. But in defeating this giant, they managed to free Sybil's brother Courtney from this giant's curse and was restored to life. You all barely. You all
I guess
made your way. Go ahead.
Context that, though, I guess add a little bit of flavor, because I think at this point Viking was very much, let's get the shit done so we can get the fuck out of here, we can get away from these people. And Courtney was not looking hot, especially after I think I had just crit Courtney before.
Yeah, he was down to like single digits, I think.
Yeah, and then right after is when Sybil was like, "This is my brother. I can try and save him." And I think
Yeah,
it
'cause
had
you were
Sybil.
about to let loose like 30 something
Yup,
damage on this
yup,
fucking kid. Yeah.
yup. He was fucking dunzo. And then if Sybil had not been there, like holding my brother, like I'm trying to save him, the attack would have just gone straight to him. Instead, we turned it onto the giant.
That's right.
And that was the "how do you want to do this" for him that fixed Courtney. We're like, whew, all right. Almost fucking clobbered your brother.
Almost killed your brother for a second death.
Whoops.
The party gathered themselves, along with a few survivors of the mine, along with some of the supplies that were needed, and returned to town. They were rewarded. Maggie had to sit down with Viking and explained that she couldn't be around to be his one source of connection, and that it was his time to branch out and try to make connections with others. Maggie did leave Aephos that day, leaving Viking with the Valiant.
I think before Maggie moment, very, very poignant, very important, Viking had his own conversation with Skaya. Sort of conversation where he had, after the mission, everybody drinking, went and got his own time, opens this rift with a weird magical dagger that he's still not explained to a lot of people, and kind of just monologues to this vision of what is his dead wife and how much he misses her, that every day is painful, that he has to continue to live without her, but feels that she is just guiding him to keep going, to help someone or make peace somewhere that he just doesn't want to have to keep taking care of other people and just himself, and is still fighting with what that looks like here. And in a perfect world, the peace that he wants is to just be away from everyone. And then this is Maggie's: stay with them. I think you'll be just as good for them as they'll be for you. So very begrudgingly sticks around even after having beef with Marosha and Sybil consistently at this point. But even during this, where Marosha catches wind of a little bit and has a kind of like heart to heart of like, "Me too, man." It's like, "Oh, I don't want to talk about it. I just want to drink. Don't worry about me."
Now, one important note is that right after the mines were cleared, Maris did depart the party to make way towards Kavamir, after having heard that somebody was using her husband's name to pick up prescriptions at the FCVS, also known as Fantasy CVS, and she needed to go and investigate. And we were making jokes, and I might actually canon make it a thing that she's still in line, trying to figure out what's going on. But yes.
She gets to the front of the line to find out
What happened?
It's what happened.
she had a copay. Like, this should be covered by insurance. Like, you're gonna have to make a phone call. I'm gonna need you to step to the side, please.
Jesus.
It was the Daria-esque FCBS
yes.
customer service representative too. Like,
one other important note: when Viking did make contact with Skaya, or rather to speak to Skaya, it seemed that her spirit was communicating back. Until there was a pretty clear sign that it wasn't her, it was somebody pretending to be her. And that there was somebody who's calling himself king of these lands that needed to be slain. But our party then was approached by Marie, one of the fabled former Valiant that had disappeared from the land once upon a time. Also, hi Meadow! Welcome in.
Hi.
Welcome into our
our
campaign.
Meadow?
The Crit Award winning Meadow, the best D&D player in the world, I know she's flipping me off right now.
Right the fuck.
We got a celebrity in chat.
I'm gonna get so many angry messages or gifts or something from Meadow just by saying that.
That's the Crit Award winning Meadow in the chat.
I'm saying I played Colt Cam Whited pretty good.
So,
I got a
Marie
rock.
approaches.
Colt is kind of a rock, dude. In more ways than one.
It's true. Marie approaches our valiant heroes and says, let's talk, because you guys have liberated this town. You've done some good deeds, but let's talk about doing some actual good work for the people of this land. And proposes to join the rebellion to rid Lothorn of the invading force, bring peace to the land, stop the war, save the world. You know, that stuff. To which Marosha went, hey Ian, how did that go?
It was a good conversation. They had asked for our help and service. They had laid out to us like the importance of it. Honestly, it was really hitting every point. Sorry. It was hitting every point of what like the party has been looking for and searching for. And honestly, being the Valiant, it is something that is part of our responsibility and position. And wholeheartedly, Marosha looked at her and said, no. And like was like, no, I'm not. No.
That caused a bit of tension for the rest of that conversation. Basically, the party once again came to this crossroads. What would they do? Would they continue to sail aimlessly? Would they continue to sail aimlessly? Would they continue to take whatever odd jobs they could find? Or would they go to actually help someone? They help somebody in need. Live up to the name of the Valiant that they had been given by Avram. So they decided to step up. Marie had detailed a plan. They knew that... Hold on, I gotta find where my mouse is. Okay. They knew that Aephos was important because it was a great starting point in order to reclaim their lands from the Eodrithe military. The Eodrithe wouldn't dare try to cross over by land over the north. There's no actual solid travel through the north. They would have to come through the south to try to reclaim this land. And they'd have to go through Witherthorn, which is the one spot that they were never able to claim because it was guarded by a necromancer who had impenetrable defenses, and to this day, those defenses remain standing. Marie's plan would be to have the Valiant surpass those defenses, make contact, accept supplies from Aephos, along with numbers so that they can mount a defense and start moving southward to start reclaiming some land from below. So, our heroes, armed with a horse with special hooves that could stick to whatever surface that it could.
Come here, horsey. Come here, horsey.
In a rare moment where Gavel allowed chaos, went, Marosha, stick the horse to a tree. God, it was so funny. You all began your travel through the Shattered Ridge once again to head towards the southern edge, where there would be an airship waiting for you. Along the way, you encountered a monastery belonging to the Order of the Dragon's Claw, and an order and a style different from Gavel's style, much more aggressive, much more murderous, headed by Master Zaviso, a black-scaled dragonborn who was unafraid to slay any that he deemed were weak or unable to accept his teachings. After a duel between Gavel and his former rival, who had appeared to be studying at this school. It came out that Zavizo indeed was the villain that needed to be stopped in this moment, as Gavel's rival had arranged for some sort of oh my god, my brain had arranged to throw the fight so that they could then find a way to free the students and take out Zavizo. Zavizo absolutely took the bait, and the three of you absolutely stomped the shit out of this monk that I built, and I was so excited about him, but once again, one versus many, he would
Fight
not
back,
last.
brother, fight back.
Yeah, it wasn't gonna happen. You guys slaughtered him. The school was liberated from his tyranny and gifted to Gavel's rival, Chad. I need to talk to LB about these NPC names. But after freeing...
We also found out what Gavel's name is.
Yes, you found out that
Brock.
Gavel's true name is Brock.
Brock.
Yeah. Well... But you all continued your travel until you finally came to where the airship was stored, and for the most part, it withstood the elements. For the most part, except for some spots on the hull where it was particularly weakened. Sybil began to work to repair it and get things moving again. However, as Sybil began, behind you, a familiar sight to Marosha was seen a couple 100 feet away, slowly approaching. And that was Rain, covered in that corruption, slowly making her way closer and closer before she, in a dead sprint, bolted towards the adventurers. There was a brief moment of combat where Gavel laid in a good solid few shots before Rain laid in quite a few on Viking and Gavel, if I remember.
Yeah, that was a crit. That hurt.
Mm-hmm. And Marosha, I know,
That's
Ian,
my girl.
that is your girl.
Marosha, get your girl. Get your girl. Because I'll tell you right now,
Fine.
if she
She's
was
fine.
undead, she about to be dead
Now-
again. I'll tell you that right now, buddy. Let me tell you
Fine.
something. You get your girl.
Good. Get good.
I was very good. I was
Okay.
very good. She fucking stabbed me in the ribs or some shit. I forget.
Oh, the old rib stab. I remember when.
I remember when I lost my mind.
Yes, yeah.
I remember when she stabbed me in the ribs the first time. It was
Yeah, well,
love.
if you're into that, that's great. Get stabbed again. Stop picking
It
me.
was love that
I
stabbed
naturally.
me.
Yeah.
Marosha. Now, Ian had not been there for this episode, so I did want to make sure that there was a good reason for Ian's absence. And Ian, we will have a discussion on how this works. But Marosha, knowing
Okay.
that if Rain continues this combat, there was a chance that she could die. Marosha decided, spear tackle, they rolled down the hill and yelled at Sybil, Gavel, and Viking to get on the ship and go.
Get on the ship and go.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just like that. So, the remaining members, begrudgingly, I think Gavel had to be lifted so that he wouldn't give chase.
Yep, we had to do a contested strength versus, I think it was like acrobatics or something, for me to pick up Gavel and get him on the ship.
The remaining members got on the airship and flew it down, leaving Marosha behind with Rain to sort out however that was going to solve itself.
Kissing and stabbing, yeah.
The airship would fly over the wards surrounding the town and the Tower of Witherthorn and crash full on into the ground because piloting is a bit of a challenge, where the party, having survived said crash, were then surrounded by undead, who then offered to help.
Oh.
The undead stepped in and started recovering some of the debris, and like some of the citizens were peeking their heads out, and some of the undead, clear like zombies and skeletons were like patting them like, it's okay. It's clear that these undead were a part of society here. One particular undead led the party to meet with Lombardi, the mage of this town, and the master of
Vince Lombardi?
No.
We made the same joke, right? Did we do this?
God damn
it.
Was it
Vince Lombardi's in the Valiant? Hell yeah. I knew it.
Almost there.
I was ready to shut this series down with this bullshit.
Oh. Lombardi had explained that they are an archmage of necromancy, but unlike those who follow the typical, I believe in necromancy because eternal life and be my thralls and my servants and blah, they function very much similar to how those who follow they who guard the veil do, in that they respect those who have passed on. The only reason that they do raise the dead is purely for the spirits who are restless, who have not passed on. He offers them an opportunity to come back for one last run, essentially, before eventually
like how Tom Brady did.
Sports.
Sports ball.
Sports ball.
You mean to tell me this mage Lombardi isn't like the sole proprietor of the fucking Mega Bowl sports ball championship tournament in the Valiant in the Yadrathay?
It's in Lothorn, not in Yadrathay.
How many
Mega Bowl is in Lothorn?
It's not it.
It's not anywhere yet, but
damn it! I realized what I said.
The Yadrathay Iguanas versus the Lothorn Lions in the Mega Bowl, getting the Mage Lombardi Trophy. Fucking Mega Bowl 12. Bow. Sponsored by Major Readaville.
And Boulay.
We need to get SneakerNet to do like a really bad parody of the NFL theme song, but like just like off key and like switch around two notes. Like it's blatantly.
It could be.
Or just goes insanely hard with some like bardcore level like NFL version. Like
world building.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Zach. I'm sending a DM.
Anyway, Lombardi explained the only reason that Witherthorn is the last remaining stronghold is because the King of Lothorn had asked for an army of undead to bring death to the invading army. Lombardi refused. Lombardi did not want the spirits of those who had passed to be used to bring more death. After a conversation with Gavel, Viken, and Sybil, Lombardi was convinced to maybe re-examine that need, especially now, given that the Iadrathay army is not going to stop bringing death. And by bringing the army that Lombardi has available, they would be able to bring life and safety to those around them. So, Lombardi said that they would have to commune with some of the spirits at the base of the Shattered Ridge in hopes of gathering enough spirits so that they could form an army. And that brings us to our last little moment here. Also, hi, Raiders. Welcome in, everybody. We're doing a little recap of the campaign thus far. This brings us to the last moment of our last episode, where Viken decided to have a conversation with somebody. You see, Viken had been visited by somebody wearing his deceased wife's visage in a vision once. And they had asked that if you were to bring death to somebody, that your wife would be returned to you. And so Viken wanted to speak with that individual again. Viken, in that same ritual, used that dagger to open that rift to see who would be on the other side. And who was on the other side? Queen Resli Iadrathe.
Resli.
She welcomed the visit, explained and apologized for the rather uncouth introduction, but it was the only way that she would be able to really get his attention. She explained the reason for the war. She explained the reason why she has spent decades trying to rid this world of Lothorn. Its arcane oddities, its corruption. She alluded to some deeply personal and vexing interactions she had with the Lothorn royal family once upon a time, and admitted that she knew that she would be painted as the monster. She knew that no matter what she did, she knew that she was going to face the legacy of being referred to as a monster, and she accepted that the moment she raised her sword against those people. Viken asked, is her offer true? Is it legitimate? If Viken were to slay Avrin, would she truly bring Skaya back to life? Not undead, not a thrall, not a shade or a fragment of her former self, whole and healthy. And the queen said yes. And so Viken was satisfied with this. And Viken then did the thing that the party knew had some sort of manipulative magical properties to it. When you swear your oaths to Queen Iadrathe, there's a piece of yourself that she is taking from you. There's a piece of her that you are now taking in, that she pilots. And so Viken swore his oaths to Queen Iadrathe and became Sir Viken. She gave
look at me like that.
instruction. She gave her instruction that the time would come when the young king-to-be would present himself. But for now, continue playing the part. Allow them their moment of rebellion, and wait for the right time to strike. And that is where we left off.
Boo! Sounds exciting to me. I'm gonna get wifey back. All I gotta do is kill some white dude. Let's go.
Damn. You don't know if he's
Honestly,
the image I have a very like
It's
Kit
fine.
Harington, like Jon Snow kind of vibe in my head. That's how I've pictured Averin.
I will. I'll see if I can
Harrington is
send.
actually really good.
Yeah.
Harrington is actually
I'll send
really
you.
good.
I'll send you the hero forge I made of Averin once upon
Oh,
a time,
bet.
and let you see what he exists as in my head. So that was, let's see, 2.5 hours of information.
You
What
did it.
questions does anybody have, if any?
Because I've been there, so I don't have to question. Yeah.
Huh. It's the weird thing of like, I think Viking is very much happy with being isolated and not knowing half of this shit, let alone what's not known to the public anyway. So like, as this continues to unravel, it is more like, I think Viking has made this deal with no knowledge of what has happened to the party. Like, I don't know, and like that this queen has any connection whatsoever. And was there a part of me that hoped that would come up when I was like, so tell me about this Averin guy, Sybil. Like, what's friend, foe, what's up? And we didn't really talk about that. While Viking was asking Sybil, I did a wisdom check, I believe. And the response I got was like a distorted demon speaking over Sybil, just like, that little baby back bitch beat his ass, as opposed to the genuine thoughts on Averin, which just kind of continue to distort what Viking would have said in the conversation with the queen. So yeah.
Yep.
Did we have the trembles? I'm like, this is a choice. Oh my god, what are we fucking doing? Man, let me tell you, have I had like 14 ideas? Like, which path do we take? I don't know yet. We're gonna find out.
It's a fantastic position to be in my opinion. That is the most juicy thing to do. I loved it. And I've said this, and DMs, just quick note, if you are watching this, and we've had conversations about this, always offer a ripcord, because when we've talked, I think this is fucking awesome. But if at any point Danny is uncomfortable, I've told Danny there is a way out of this. There's 100%. If you are uncomfortable with this inter-party conflict, we don't have to tell that story. We pull the ripcord, we pull out of it entirely, we tell the story, we continue going forward. The whole idea is that we are having fun telling a story. If we delve into themes that you're uncomfortable with, that's okay. We don't have to talk about those. We don't have to delve into that at any point. Because I know, for me, when I was first starting, I did something like that, and I was like,
yikes.
afterwards, and everyone's like, that was fucking cool.
Yeah.
So
It's okay. You're doing it, Peter.
Yeah.
You're doing it.
I'm excited for the smoke. I don't know who smoke and what smoke. Reaction from players, it sounds like it's going to be LB's smoke first, but Marosha too. So, but also,
we're like, what the fuck is happening?
but also,
Yeah.
is Viking going to be like, by the way, I spoke to the queen. This is the thing I'm doing. Like, I don't think so. So like that would all depend, because there's not another spot where like someone was close to list it in. Like this was Viking pretty much on his own, because I think it was Sybil was all like, I'm gonna go explore this guy's house, or he was told not to look around. And Gavel was, I'm trying to remember what specifically it was. I don't know if it was me taking Gavel away from saving Marosha, but Gavel had hit me with the like, don't get in my way again, and then gave me the poem.
Oh my god.
You got a poem?
I did get my poem. I got my poem. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to send it to you then. But yeah, I don't know if it went the way LB wanted it to, because there was the line of for Viking reading it in it was like an everlasting dream or something, like he'll never see his wife again unless I do this thing. And then there was the one line that was like, bitch, let's hunt, which was the motivator to go get Avrid. So there was the like, this is what Gavel meant, this is what Viking heard type deal. So
Beautiful.
yeah, it'll be fun.
Beautiful. Chef's kiss.
Mwah.
Oh. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for our little recap here.
Yeah.
But this next episode is going to start our season 3, quote unquote. Even though it's just one gigantic long campaign, whatever. But for those who have tuned in for this recap, thank you so much. For those who are interested in tuning in, by all means, you're welcome to. If you want to see the more detailed version of this recap, all of the episodes of Tales of the Valiant are currently on YouTube over at Crit Hit Chronicles. Starting all the way from episode 1 to current, including our origin sessions, including our side stories and one-shots. You should go and take a look, because this campaign means a lot to me. These characters and these players mean a lot to me. And I love getting to chill with my friends on Thursday nights and get to hear about what ridiculous fantasy restaurant they've come up with, or what fucking bar menu or fantasy football I guess they're coming up with. I don't know what the hell. Fantasy football they're gonna come up with.
That is called Blood Bowl. You can play it on PlayStation, Steam, and Xbox right now.
So
all right, my bad. Sorry guys, fuck indie games. They're dumb anyway. I don't know if Blood Bowl is this.
But with that said, we're going to go ahead and get a raid set up for Captain Robert. Before I do that, though, I want to toss it to my two wonderful little co-hosts here. We'll start with Ian.
What's up, everybody? I'm Ian, or your boy Big. Y'all know me. It is what it is. Honestly, that's it. Like, this is, I always love doing these things, like little recaps and stuff. So it's cool. So, all right, Danny, you say words.
Me. Hi everybody, I'm Danny. I play Viking here, and I go by CGDannyB online. I play indie games and talk about them and stuff on a podcast. It's a good time. Hey, Extra Life comes up in a couple months. Just thinking about that because we're planning it. So if you want to be there for a 24-hour stream where we might be doing a Royal Rumble in WWE 2K25 that will have some faces that are on this screen in it, maybe. Just to play it. But yeah, it'll be great.
If you don't put me at a rating 100, we are fighting.
Listen, I don't make it. I don't know how it goes. Chris is doing it. I think the plan. Contact.
So you tell Chris that we said.
Oh, Chris rated. Chris rated tonight. Chris,
pay attention.
Oh,
Chris.
Chris.
I'm sure you've seen the video of how hard I chop. That's not the hardest I can chop, though.
My man said that that's not the hardest he can chop.
That is what I said, yes. Thank you.
Let me just say that a little bit louder for the people in the back. The idea is we have a thing called Chaos Couch, where Kanai and Carter make an obscene character in a video game and then start to play through it. They've done Skyrim, Fallout 4, and Elden Ring. And the idea this year was to do Chaos Couch mixed with the Royal Rumble. So Chris and I will leave the room. They will make some monster in WWE. Chris and I will not see it, and we will organize it that character is the last to enter the Rumble. And then Chris and I will be doing commentary on this match. To be like, oh, Ian beat the fuck out of such and such, and then be like, and here comes whatever the fuck they make. And like, what the fuck is that thing? So, should be fun. Raising money for the big, beautiful kids.
There's gonna be commentary too?
Yeah,
Whoa.
dude.
Aww.
It'll be fun.
Whoa.
We're gonna love it.
It's all in
try.
person, though, isn't it?
Be good. Say again?
It's all in person, though, right?
It is, yeah.
Okay, yeah. There's the caveat.
It's okay. It's fine.
That sounds
The
like
tree will
fun
be
as
there.
fuck though. That
Yeah,
sounds like
we're-
a shit ton of fun.
Yeah.
We're really just fucking with the idea. There's something we wanted to do last year. We're like, we can't organize this yet. Let's figure it out. So, yeah, I'm putting it in the universe so we make sure we get it done this time. Because if we don't, then we're liars.
Well,
Yeah, we don't want that.
don't be
Yeah.
liars.
Yeah, Chris, get the characters made.
Do it.
Yeah, Chris, make Kujo's character at 100,
Yeah, and me too.
and Danny too.
Yeah,
And if you put me in there, I'm cool with like a 92.
you're on the list.
Shut up! Don't do that. Oh,
You're on the list. I put you guys on the list.
All right. Well, as for me, my name's Kujo. I have been your chronicler for this evening, and I gotta say, I am kind of proud of myself for drawing the majority of that from my brain. That's having a mind palace is hard, guys. But seriously though, if you have watched previously, if you're going to continue watching from this point on, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the love and support. Thank you to Kobold Press for sponsoring this campaign. It is seriously one of my favorite fucking games. It's been so much fun, and I love watching the story grow and change and continue to be something beautiful. It's so much fun. But you can follow me and the channel everywhere as either Kujo Plays Games or Crit Hit Chronicles for official announcements, show updates, highlights, that sort of thing. You can also follow Messy Crit Productions as we have delved into podcast content with Road to Hell, our Hunter the Reckoning podcast, which is currently live on Spotify right now. It is so much fun. Thursdays, you can catch us for Tales of the Valiant. Fridays, you can catch us for Shadows over Baldur's Gate, our spiritual sequel to Baldur's Gate 3. And coming up on Tuesdays on September 30th, you can catch us for our horror chronicle for this year, Scream the TTRPG, featuring our beloved Ian. It's going to be great. So
I'm in that.
You're in that. Yeah.
Oh shit!
We got to talk
I'm in
about
that. Yeah. I'm in that. Apparently.
And then tell them what's
No, it's not
next,
just me.
Joe.
And then Kingdom Hearts at some point.
And then tell them what's next, Kujo.
And then Monster of the Week.
Yeah, and then tell them what's next.
What am I missing?
I don't
Fuck.
know.
Oh, I
trying
thought
to
you.
get the
I thought I was
announcements
legitimately.
Oh, I mean, eventually D plus Ultra at some point, but
Yes, that is most likely going to be next year.
yeah. I gotta beat my dad's ass.
Okay, here we go. Send us out, Kujo.
Yes. You are all loved. You are appreciated. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you guys so much. We'll see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.
Toodles.